Awakening family, welcome to another coaching call. Okay, like I said before, I'm so freaking grateful for each and every one of you guys. But hey, tonight's coaching call, I want to delve in and have a call all about the secrets to visualization. Okay, over the past few weeks in the month, I've had a lot of our newer members reach out to me and just to seek help and clarity when it comes to visualization. So I want to share the secrets of visualization. I also want to share the 3 keys that if you study, if you master, if you learn, you can have visualization work in your favor. Visualization and meditation has completely changed my life. Okay, I also want to talk about the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to visualization, and hence the reason why they struggle, right? And also why visualization doesn't work for people, and how to use visualization, how I used visualization in my life to help me transform, to help me achieve my goals in life. Okay, I really want you to pay close attention to this session tonight. It's going to be very, very valuable for each and every one of you guys, okay? Because here's the thing. If you use these 3 keys, you're going to see big, massive changes in your life. I promise you that. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about how to visualize and why we visualize. And also how to the proper way to visualize, and so that we can actually achieve what we want in life. Okay, so here is the thing. The first key I want you to understand is this. Visualization is a technique. Okay, so just like affirmations, just like hypnosis, these are all techniques intended to achieve a certain goal, okay, or to help us move in the direction of our goals. That's why we use these techniques, to help us move in the direction of our goals. And the goal with all of these techniques, this is the key for you. The goal with all of these techniques, visualization is what we're talking about tonight, is this: to achieve mind to heart coherence. That's the goal here. So why do we visualize? We visualize to achieve mind to heart coherence. So you're probably sitting there and asking yourself, what does this mean, coach? What is mind to heart coherence? You hear coach talking about this all the time. So I want to give you guys further clarity on this mind to heart coherence. So mind to heart coherence, what do I mean by this? Well, let's say you think of a thought. Let's start there. Let's say you think of a thought and you feel a feeling corresponding to that thought. When the thought and the feeling come in conjunction with each other, when the thought and feeling, when there is alignment and harmony between the thought and feeling, they are now on the same frequency. When they are on the same frequency, there's now alignment between the thought and feeling. There's now alignment between the mind and heart. Thought is the mind, feeling is the heart. Okay? So really take that in. Okay, we're going to talk about this a little bit deeper as we progress through our journey in tonight's corridor. Okay, so what I want you to remember is this: visualization, and the purpose of visualization is to attain a certain state of being. You hear coach talking about state of being all the time. So the purpose of visualization is to allow us to attain how it feels to live in that moment, to attain that state of being. You visualize to really get into that state of being of your ideal self and what life would look like once your goals have been achieved. Okay, so as an example, when I meditate, when I visualize in the morning, I'm living as my ideal self. And when I can feel as if I'm already there, when I see as if I'm already there, I now know the vibrational frequency I must emit. I now know how I should feel when I live on a moment-to-moment basis. When I took you through the one-on-one session you and I had, and I took you through that visualization process, it is done, it is done, it is done. And I told you, remember that feeling. I want you to recall and remember that feeling as if your goal had manifested itself. Now, every time you go and recall that feeling, that is you stepping into that reality. That is you accessing that state of being. Okay, can I see a show of hands if this is making sense to you right now? Bye. Okay, so whānau, that's the purpose of visualization. Okay, so the purpose of visualization is to attain that state of being. And the goal of visualization is what? To achieve mind to heart coherence. Kapai? Kai te marama? Okay, let me say that again. Okay, so I'll break it down simply again. The purpose of visualization is to allow us to step into that state of being, to attain that state of being, how it would feel to be that ideal self in that very moment. That is the purpose of visualization. Now, the goal of visualization is to achieve coherence between the heart and mind and heart coherence. So why is the coherence between the mind and heart so important? Why is mind and heart alignment so important? And why do so many people fail to talk about heart and mind coherence or mind to heart connection? And what happens when you have this coherence between the heart and mind? Okay, to basically put it, whānau, everything that you see in your reality is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. As simple as that. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think frequency and energy. That's the truth. Everything you see around you is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. My watch is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. This phone is energy vibrating at a denser frequency. My hand is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. So there are energetic waves. Feelings have a certain frequency, and our thoughts have a certain frequency. Our feelings have a certain frequency, and our thoughts have a certain frequency. Okay, so let's take a look at this graph. Can I see a show of hands if you guys can see this graph, whānau? Ka pai. Awesome. Okay, so after te tiro ki tēnei, all right, let me just move this out of the way. All right, ka pai. So right now, whānau, you see this right here is I call them waves, right? Energetic waves. So in purple, we have our thoughts. We have thought waves. In the gray, we have feeling waves, okay? So what happens is this. These thought waves and feeling waves, they can both be in phase or out of phase. I want you guys to write that down. Both these can be in phase or out of phase. Ka pai? So what does that mean? Let's have a look at the next graph. So your thoughts can be in phase. So this right here is in phase. Can you guys see that photo? So this is when your thoughts and feelings are in phase. And this is when they are out of phase. Can you see the difference? So this right here is when your thoughts and your feelings are not in alignment. They are out of phase. Okay, so what we want to do, or what mind and heart coherence really means, is that the frequency of your thoughts, the thoughts that we have, and the frequency of the emotions and the feelings that we feel, they are both in phase. They are both of the same frequency, which is very, very important. Can I see a show of hands? This is making sense to you. So whānau, this right here, when our thoughts, when our feelings, when we think about our goals, or our thoughts and feelings, when they are in vibrational harmony or in alignment, that is in phase. And that right there is mind to heart coherence. And those thoughts and feelings are also of the same frequency. So let's give you an example. Okay, let's say it's like you think good thoughts about the goal that you desire. You start to think good thoughts about what you desire to manifest. And on the flip side, you also feel good about the goals. And you feel, when you think about your goals, you feel joyful. You feel gratitude. You feel abundance. You feel excited. You feel peaceful, right? That's in phase. Whereas out of phase or out of frequency, that would mean this. Here's the example. You have thoughts about achieving your goal. You think about your goal, right? Yes, coach, my goal is to attract and manifest $80,000, $100,000 months consistently. But then you feel about it. The emotions that you have about this goal, you feel fear. You feel doubtful. You feel scarce. You want to move towards achieving your goals in life, but you have this fear about your goals not happening for you. You have this fear of failure or this fear of success. And because of that, you don't fully step in to this ideal self. Once again, everything's out of phase. The goal here, whānau, is we want things to be in phase. We want our thoughts and feelings to both be in phase, to be of the same frequency, to be in vibrational harmony. Because when this happens, whānau, here's the thing, it now superimposes and it makes this wave bigger. What happens when the wave becomes bigger? When your thoughts, when your feelings are in phase, when it creates this coherence between your heart and mind, when they come together like this and they superimpose and it becomes a bigger wave, that activates outer intention. That activates outer intention. When you activate outer intention, you have the power to build pyramids. You have the power to walk on water. Coherence between the heart and mind activates outer intention. Now, why is this important? The reason why this is important is because you have feelings. You have your mind. They are both on the same page. They are both working in harmony with each other. The reason why this is important is because most people consciously know what they want, but emotionally, there's no clarity. That's the truth. We think we know what we want because that's how we've been programmed, but emotionally, there's no clarity. The first 2 weeks of our program, if you got absolutely clear, if you went through the self-mastery course through weeks 1 and 2, what is the main focus? Let's get clear on what you really want, not the wants based on how you've been programmed by society. What do you really want? Let's get crystal clear. Let's get intellectually clear about what you really want. That's the what. Now, why do you want this? Let's discover your core emotional driver, because here's the thing, when your why is big enough, you will find a way to show up to these cores. You will find a way to make the self-mastery work for you. You will find a way to make things happen. When your why is not big enough, when there's no emotional clarity, you'll find all the excuses in the world to sabotage your efforts. So if you have not discovered that, you have not done your homework. Weeks 1 and 2 of the self-mastery course, we get crystal clear. What do you want intellectually? What do you want? Let's get clear, because here's the thing, I know exactly what I want 10 years, 5 years from now, and that goal is unwavering for me. That never changes. So if anything in my life does not align to that 5-10 year goal, you think I'm going to put up with that crap? No way, Jose. So once again, why is it important to have your feelings and your mind on the same page? Because that is mind to heart coherence. Most people consciously know what they want, but emotionally there's no clarity. Hence the reason why they will find any excuse to give up on their journey. 9 steps forward, 10 steps backwards, and you keep going through that same reality loop. 9 steps forward, 10 steps backwards. Ask yourself, why haven't you changed? Because emotionally, you haven't gained that clarity yet. What is your core emotional driver? When your why is big enough, I can guarantee you, if you have to work 24 hours a day, you will do it. If you have to make sacrifices, you will do it. So you have to get intellectually clear and you have to get emotionally clear. So for example, right? You may know you want a certain amount of money. Okay, coach, I want to make $80,000 a month in my business. You may know that's a certain amount of money that you desire. But here's the flip side. The corresponding emotion to help you get in phase with what you want, it hasn't come in yet. And because of that, there's no juice. There is no substance. There is no power. There is no alignment. A thought with no emotional intensity is not going to work for you. The thought sends out the signal. The emotion pulls that reality back to you. So when you put out a thought with no emotion, nothing's going to happen for you. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? Can I see a show of hands? There is no alignment. A thought with no emotional intensity is not going to work for you. It's very ineffective. Okay? So let's delve back into this graph here. So finally, what mind to heart coherence really does is this, okay? The mind here, the mind crafts the channel. Can I see a show of hands if you guys can see this, please? Kapai. So the mind here crafts the channel. That's what the mind does. So if you have a river, it crafts the channels, right? But within those channels, we need water for it to flow. And when you have that water that's flowing in a certain direction, the water is emotion. And the channels that have been created is the mind. So really think about it this way. Emotions are very, very chaotic by themselves. There's the masculine, there's the feminine energy. The feminine energy is very, very chaotic. It's very all over the place, right? Whereas the masculine energy is very logical. It's very to the point. But here's the thing about the masculine energy by itself. It lacks substance. What is the substance? The substance is the feminine energy. Without the masculine and the feminine in harmony, without the masculine and the feminine in conjunction, without the emotion and the mind in alignment, nothing is going to happen. There is no creation. That's why your goals have not manifested yet. Because intellectually, you know what you want. You've created, you've crafted the channel. But there's no emotion. There is no feminine energy. When the masculine and feminine come together, as we can see here, that is mind to heart coherence. When mind to heart coherence happens, when there is alignment between your thoughts and your feelings, when there is alignment and balance between your mind and emotion, finally, that's when creation happens. That's the secret to manifestation. So what the thought does, Whānau, is it creates the channel for the emotion to flow in the direction of what you desire. The mind shoots out that signal, and it's the feeling state that you embody on a daily basis that pulls that back to you. This is very, very, very important. Okay. So once again, the mind gives a channel for the emotion to flow in. And this is why you need both the coherence of heart and mind. If you're just driven by the logical mind, you will not manifest your desires. If you are driven just by emotion, your life is going to be a roller coaster of emotions. If you just had the direction without the substance, then creation is not going to occur for you. If you just had emotion flowing all over the place, left, right, and center, wee, wah, wah, ngā tōpito katoa, once again, there is no creation. That's what the mind does. It adds focus to your efforts and to your emotions. So let's quickly talk about outer intention, because there are a few of you guys here that don't know what outer intention is. Okay, I'm going to basically break this down for you. So we have two intentions. Okay, we have the inner intention, which is our personal will. We have the outer intention, which is the universal will, or the worldly will, so to say, right? So outer intention is a very, very powerful force. It's a very powerful force that brings about goal achievements. Okay, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like you move halfway to the world with your personal intention, with you taking massive action and putting in the mahi, and the world or the universe meets you halfway. So it's kind of like God or the universe or whatever you like to call it takes care of the rest. You put in the internal work, you put in the mahi, But when you start living based on mind to heart coherence and you activate that outer intention, now the universe starts working in your favor. Now the universe starts meeting you halfway and say, okay, I'm on board. You do believe in this. Let's bring this to you. Let's make miracles in your life happen for you. Let's go. Okay, so that's inner and outer intention, basically broken down. So now let's get into the 3 key steps to help you get to a state of visualizing and getting into this mind to heart coherence much, much stronger. Okay, so I want you guys to write these down. The first key step, I had to look at my paper with my notes. I nearly forgot the steps. Step and key number 1. Okay, what I want you to remember is visualizing is always usually done in a very, very resistive state, or a state of resistance, so to say. So people always visualize when they're feeling fear. Okay, so as an example, oh, I don't like this fear. I want to get out of this fear. So let me just start visualizing. Let me start visualizing what I want. Oh, there's a bit of debt in my life. Oh, I'm going to start visualizing. I better start visualizing manifesting money. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this feeling about my goals. Oh, let me start to visualize what I want. Well, whānau, that is the worst time to visualize. Let me just tell you that. It's usually always people coming from a place of scarcity, people coming from a place of fear, people coming from a place of lack, and then they start to visualize. Wrong. That's the wrong way to visualize. So what is key number 1? Key number 1 is this: never ever visualize from a place of resistance. Let me say that again. Key number 1, never visualize from a place of resistance or a place of fear or a place of scarcity. You only visualize when you're relaxed. This is very important. Hence the reason why the moment my eyes wake up, I wake up with a heart of gratitude. Thank you, universe. I'm awake. Thank you, universe. I'm here. I'm present in this moment. While I'm still in that state, I'll close my eyes and I'll start to visualize. Okay, sometimes I may need to play music to get me into that feeling. So I'll quickly grab my headphones and I'll play some music from my phone and I'll just sit there for about an hour, just visualizing. Okay, I'm visualizing when I'm relaxed, because now my subconscious mind is very, very receptive to this new information. Okay, when you're not relaxed, it's not going to take the information on board, because you're going to be thinking about everything else. So number 1, visualize in a neutral state or in a positive state of being. Okay, let me say that again. Visualize in a neutral state or positive state of being. Okay, this is important because when you're in a negative state, or a negative state of being, the negativity continues. Have you noticed that? What you resist will persist. You start to visualize when you're feeling negative, and all you can think about is a negative thought, and it just keeps continuing. And you think, damn it, why can't I think about that money? I keep thinking about the debt. Oh, there you go. I was the king of that. Trust me. Okay, time to visualize. I just saw a bill. Time to visualize. Shit. Okay. So me too, pato. Okay. This negativity continues in your visualization, because remember, like I mentioned before, right? You want them to be in phase, right? So if you're thinking negative and you try to visualize something positive, oh, there's a misalignment. There's not going to be coherence between the mind and heart. There's no harmony. There's no balance. There's no alignment. So whānau, the least you can do for me is visualize in a neutral state. If you're not feeling positive, well, make sure you're in a neutral state, okay? Just be relaxed. Bring stillness to the mind, quiet the mind, and visualize. And then the positive emotions, right? If you're in a neutral state, and this is what happens to me, sometimes I'm not feeling positive, I'm not feeling negative, I'm just feeling very neutral. And that's great, because when I start to visualize those ideal scenes, I notice that those positive emotions begin to arise. And I start feeling positive. I start feeling gratitude. I start feeling my heart pulsating with that gratitude. And once you start to focus on what you want, those emotions begin to arise more and more. Okay, when you start getting that clear picture of you and that reality, those positive emotions just gain such positive momentum for you, okay? So now let's talk about how to actually embody those emotions. Okay, this is very important because a lot of people, they struggle with this. And why they struggle is because they always visualize to try and get something. Do you hear what I said? People try to visualize to manipulate an outcome. Okay, you try to visualize because you're wanting to get something. People are like, okay, I need to visualize because I need to make more money right now. That's the wrong way. It's not the right way, and the reason behind visualization, right? We spoke about the purpose and the goal of visualization. The purpose is to attain that state of being. The goal is to achieve mind to heart coherence. Okay, so here's what you should do instead. You don't visualize to try and get some type of result. No, you visualize to experience. Do you see the difference there? You visualize to experience. When I visualize my ideal scene, it feels like I'm there in that moment. Sometimes I would cry in joy. Sometimes I don't even want to wake up from my visualization because it's so beautiful. Okay, so what I do is when I get into that state of being, or to that right state of being, and I feel as if the goal has already been achieved, it is done, it is done, it is done. I can hear the trees blowing, I can feel the wind blowing on my skin, I can smell the food that Lace is cooking, I can see her wine, I'm holding a glass of wine, I can see my beautiful kids in the pool, I can hear their music playing, and I can hear them yelling at Dad. It is done, it is done, it is done. Now, when I wake up from that visualization, just imagine how powerful my state of being is. I live life from that state of being. The moment I wake up, feet on the ground, let's go. It is done. And on a moment-to-moment basis, my goal is to live feeling those feelings, to live thinking those thoughts. The problem is this with a lot of people: you finish visualizing, boom, you step foot and feet on the ground, back to the old self you go. Back to the autopilot way, the stress of life, the stress of work, arguing with your partners, having a negative mindset. That's what happens, because you want to know why? Because that's just how you've been programmed. 95% of your life is controlled by the unconscious mind. When you don't reprogram that effectively, when you think you can be the same and get a different result in life, that is straight insanity. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So when you show up differently to the mirror of reality, your goals show up for you. That's the beautiful byproduct of it all. Okay. So what? We visualize to experience. Please remember this. This is so important. Never visualize to try and manipulate. Never visualize to try and get something. No. What is the purpose of visualization? To attain that state of being, to allow you to step in to that state of being. Also remember this: your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. So when you feel something as if you were there, as if I was in that mansion, my subconscious mind thinks it was real. Hence the reason why it has no choice but to bring that into my reality. That's the power of visualization. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between something that you imagined and something that you actually did. Think about that. Think about that and how powerful that is. If you can live life beyond the limitations of the lenses that you perceive life through, the limitations in your own mind, if you can live life beyond that, miracles will manifest itself. But if you don't perceive that you are worthy of these miracles, it will not happen for you. But when you can visualize to experience that ideal self, that ideal reality, whānau, in that moment, you were there. You were there. So visualize to experience that ideal scene. Visualize to experience what life will look like if you were already there. It is done, it is done, it is done. So visualize to experience. This is so important. I want you guys to remember that. Visualize to experience. Once I started to share this with a lot of our members, the first time I spoke about visualization within our self-mastery course, people changed. Massive results were achieved. The people that have succeeded, massive results, I can guarantee you, they visualize the ideal scene. They visualize to experience that. What does a day look like in the life if you had achieved your goals? What does that day look like if you had achieved all your goals? Okay, now this leads me into the third key. The third key is this: don't visualize just the moments of achieving the goal or before the goal. Visualize what life looks like after the goal has been achieved. And say that again. Don't just visualize the goal itself or achieving the goal or before the goal. Visualize what life is going to look like after the goal has been achieved. And finally, I'm not talking like just a day of the goal being achieved, but more like, what does a day in the life look like? Maybe a month after the goal has been achieved. How do you conduct your day-to-day life? What sort of activities are you now doing? What kind of car do you drive now? What kind of house do you live in now? What kind of scenes do you see? What are the different elements around you? What are the different environment? What's the environment that you're in? What are the people that you surround yourself by? So as an example for me, I shared it before, it's me. I see myself running an amazing team. I see coaches running live coaching sessions within the awakening, and me not being as present, me just possibly doing 2 coaching calls a month maybe, and having other coaches come into this environment to lead, me running different seminars, traveling the world, me living in my mansion, watching my whānau, watching my kids in the swimming pool, me driving my Lamborghini events at all. That's what I visualize. So basically visualize the scene of what life looks like after the goal has been achieved, or at least during, during the achievement process, so to say. Another thing is people find that emotions can get very, very dry after a while. This happened to me for a certain period of my time. I found that after a while, it was hard for me to activate those emotions again. And sometimes if you find it difficult to achieve those emotions, especially, well, as an example, when you and I sat down and we had that one-on-one call, those first emotions you felt, beautiful, brought you to tears. But then sometimes it's hard to access those emotions again, right? Which is kei te pai. So guess what we do? We implement or add new scenes to the visualization. Okay, so for me, I started adding in different things. I noticed that as I was visualizing, I noticed there were people at my house. Okay, the furniture looked different experiences, new slides, new visions, new pictures of what life is going to look like for you. What does life look like after you've achieved the goal? Set new pictures, set new scenes. Okay, maybe now you're visualizing being in your house, being in your mansion. Maybe now you're visualizing what life looks like when you have $200,000 a month coming into your business. What does life look like for you? When you are running those community events that you finance because you're paying it forward. What does life look like when you're running charity events because it's your charity that you created to help impact the community in such a positive way? What does life look like for you? Okay, so visualize what life looks like once the goal has been achieved and after the goal has been achieved. Okay, and finally, I can't tell you how important this is. I also can't say how important it is for you to be relaxed and not to be so focused on trying to manipulate a certain result in your life. We're trying to visualize to manipulate a certain outcome. Kampai, kia ngā wari. Be relaxed. So finally, let's do a quick recap on our session tonight. Can I see a show of hands if this now visualization is making a lot more sense to you guys right now? And what is the purpose and what is the goal? Can I see a show of hands? Keep your hands up, please. Kapai. Kapai. And finally, this was the big one for me, right? Especially truly understanding, why do we do these different techniques, right? Why do we do the breathing? Why do we do the Wim Hoffman? Why do we do the hypnosis? Why do we do the visualization, the meditation? Why do we do these things? Well, the purpose is this. The purpose is trying to attain that ideal self, or the feeling of that ideal self. The goal with all of these things is to achieve mind to heart coherence. Combine. So finally, let's recap our session tonight. So we touched base on visualizing and why people don't truly get results when it comes to visualization, and why even myself, I was stuck for a very long time. I was visualizing my ass off. Nothing happened. Okay, and I explained why this happens. Okay, so number one, understand that visualization is a technique. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. It's a technique, just like affirmations, just like hypnosis. Okay, they are all techniques to help us get into that state of being, to help us manifest, to help us bring our goals into physical manifestation or into fruition, right? And the goal of all of this is to achieve coherence between the heart and mind, because we want our thoughts and our feelings to be in phase. We want our thoughts and feelings to be at the same frequency. Why? Because when our feelings and thoughts come together, when they are in phase, when there is vibrational harmony, when there is coherence between the heart and mind, that wave, it superimposes. It becomes a bigger wave. It becomes a bigger wave, and they energetically become much more powerful. Okay, and why is this important? Because when this wave becomes much more powerful, when your feelings and your thoughts are in alignment with your mind and heart is now in alignment, you activate outer intention. Okay, when you activate outer intention, it's like you moving halfway, you putting in that work, you showing up as your ideal self every single day, you controlling how you feel, how you think on a moment-to-moment basis. There is now alignment, there is harmony between the heart and mind. When you think about that goal, you know in your heart, man, I'm excited because it is already done. It is already done. I'm so freaking excited. I'm so freaking excited. Now you start living life like that. I'm getting goosebumps even saying that. When you start living life like that, and you just live life with the heart filled with gratitude that it is already done, Fano, that is when the universe meets you halfway and says, you know what? You have faith in me? Well, watch this. I'm gonna meet you halfway. That's outer intention. That's the universe meeting you halfway. Outer intention created the pyramids. Outer intention was the reason why Jesus was able to walk across water. That's the truth. And you probably will sit there right now and come up with all these stories of why that is not true, because that's how your logical mind works. I believe in miracles, and hence the reason why miracles show up in my life. That's the difference. When I see those angel numbers, when I see signs of synchronicity, when I hear somebody talking about my goal, I think, wow, thank you, universe. That is a whisper from the universe. It is done. When I was thinking about a particular car, even the color, driving on the motorway, boom, there goes that Lamborghini. It is done. You see the difference? The only thing that is ever stopping you or preventing you from your greatness and manifesting your greatest desires is yourself. What you see in your world is a reflection of what you hold within. Okay, when you start showing up to life differently, life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe in miracles, miracles will show up. If you don't believe in miracles, cool, Kate bye. Miracles won't show up for you. But here's me telling you right now, I want to be that beacon of hope for you right now. Believe in miracles, because you are a miracle. You just being here and taking that leap of faith, you are a freaking miracle to this world. You have a beautiful gift to offer this world. Every single one of you guys, we are not here to live a mediocre life. That's it. We are not here to be average. Every single person in this world was created to live life abundantly, not in scarce, not in fear, not in poverty. That's the truth. So my question to you is, do you believe in miracles? As simple as that. when you start living life as if your goals have already manifested, when you start to visualize, there's my goal, there it is done, it is done, it is done. You allow yourself to step in to that ideal self, and you live life, and you act as if the goal has already been manifested. Well, guess what? That's when your goals have no choice but to show up, because the universe meets you halfway and says, cool, here's outer intention. You have powerfully activated our outer intention. Let me bring miracles in your life. And those are those moments when you wake up and you look in your bank account and you think, holy hell, I didn't even know that was possible for me. If you had told me 4 years ago I would be where I am today, I wouldn't have believed you. So whānau, that's the power of outer intention, okay? So let's delve into the keys. A reminder of the keys. Number one is visualizing in a positive state or a neutral state, okay? When you're well rested, when you're relaxed, when your muscles are not so tense, when you're not thinking about mahi, when you're not being anxious, or you're not thinking and looking at Facebook, all of those blooming things. No. As soon as you wake up, do me a favor. Go through and feel gratitude in your heart. I sit in my bed. I don't start to visualize until I feel gratitude pulsating from my heart. Do me a favor and do that. Before you do anything, if you get up at 5 o'clock, get up at 4. Do yourself a favor. When you get up early in the morning and you prioritize you and your state of being, life is beautiful. So when you wake up, when you're in that neutral state or that positive state, because you're feeling gratitude, go through all of the things. Man, I'm so grateful I'm alive right now. Thank you, universe. I'm so grateful to be here right now. Thank you, universe. I'm so grateful to be in my moinga right now. Thank you, universe. I'm so grateful right now to have an amazing opportunity at life to serve my clients. Thank you, universe. I'm so happy right now to live abundantly. Thank you, universe. I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful to have financial freedom to do what I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want. Thank you, universe. You do that for me, I can guarantee you, you're going to wake up with gratitude in your heart. And ain't nothing going to deter you from having a positive mindset. Now, when you're feeling that gratitude, sit there and just visualize. If it takes 2 hours, if it takes 1 hour, just sit with it. That's a beautiful experience. Like I said to you, sometimes I don't want to stop. Sometimes I lose track of time. The only reason why I lose track of time is because I can hear my kids waking up and I'm thinking, oh, it's already 6 o'clock. Okay. Well, my kid, a younger girl, and our cat. Okay, so visualize in a positive state of mind or a neutral state. Okay, don't visualize when you're anxious. Don't visualize when you're thinking about mahi. Don't visualize when you have negativity in your mind. But when you wake up, you should not have negativity. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, visualize to experience. Kai te pai kei, have a good night, Ewa. Tēnā koe. I get to go to work. Love that, Ewa. Tēnā koe tamarui. So number two, visualize to experience, not to try and manipulate or to get something. And finally, number three, visualize what life looks like after you've actually achieved the goal, or at least during that process of manifestation, or at the end, right? Okay, so now this also leads me, and I want to quickly talk about process visualization. Maybe nearing the end, or maybe in the next few sessions, I'll talk about the different types of visualization. There's goal visualization and there's process visualization. So let me quickly talk about process. Process visualization is you have to now focus on your current reality, where you are right now, and what can be done in order to move one step forward. Okay, so let me show you what I do. Okay, so I meditate as the ideal self, as if my goals have been visualizing, as if the goal has already been achieved, what it looks like after it's been achieved, etc., etc. How I wrap up my visualization is I go into process visualization. So maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes. And process visualization for me is visualizing how my day is going to go. What do I need to do? Visualizing what can I do to move me forward from this very moment. And the reason why this is extremely powerful is when you keep using process visualization, finally hear me out. This is beautiful. When you keep using this process visualization, you start getting nudges. You start getting hunches. Okay, and I want to give you guys a quick story. I had this I had this visualization, and it was first, I'll go through the first one. This, I was visualizing, and this person's name came to my head, and it was just Hugh, and I was like, wow, why is he there? It was this Pākehā fellow that I met many years ago. Cut a long story short, I reached out to him, and for about 2 to 3 months, he did my Facebook marketing for free, because he wanted to show me that he could do it for me instead of me doing it by myself. I wouldn't have got that if I didn't go through that process visualization. Another one for me, and I'm going to share this, I'm a newbie to this, but I had this hunch come to me about cryptocurrency. And finally, I'm old school, okay? The only portfolio I have, not anymore, is real estate, okay? So anyway, I had this nudge, and I had this hunch, and I saw it, and I was like, man, seriously? But here's the thing, I didn't act straight away, okay? I just kept focusing on the processing, and cut a long story short, I'm now in the crypto game, and it's all thanks to brother Mike. So Mike Pedicini, thank you so much. Okay, and we've got some crazy things happening for us. But finally, the reason why these things happen is because I focus on process visualization at the end. Okay, there are so many things that have come to my mind. Another one, finally, I had a nudge, and it was a number. It was, I've forgotten what it was. It was like a number 77 or something like that. And to cut a long story short, I think it was 77 or something like that. But to cut a long story short, I wanted to move away from these people that I was investing in. I wanted to move away from it. And what gave me the sign is when I went to the meeting, the person on the person's desk, I saw the number 77. And I just felt this feeling. I was like, oh, that's that feeling. I'm gonna stay with this guy. And I've stayed with him ever since. So that's when we get those spikes of intuition, the whispers from intuition, the whispers from your ideal self. When you start going through the process visualization, focus on where you are right now and what you can do moving forward. So finally, can I say show of hands if that made sense to you guys? I'm trying not to overwhelm you guys too much, but maybe in a further coaching call, we can delve into process and goal visualization a little more, okay? You know, that's what process visualization. It's going to give you hunches, nudges, to do things in this moment that's going to move you in the direction of your desires, okay? This type of visualization, finally, is the focus on the intention. Okay, let me say that again. This process visualization is the focus on the intention. The intention means the movement towards the goals. What can I visualize right now that I'm doing right now in this very moment that's going to move me in the direction of my goals? That's what process visualization. Whereas goal visualization is more like the desire. Okay, so you're focusing on the end goal, whereas process visualization is the intention. What can I do now to move me in that direction? So process visualization is the intention behind it, okay? So once again, how you visualize the process is you look at what can be done from this current reality, from this very moment, where you are right now to where you want to be. What's the first step that you can take right now that's going to help you move forward to establish that positive momentum? Finally, through process visualization, you are also powerfully bridging the gap from where you are right now to where you desire to be. So you must have both of these working together. I know some of you guys are sitting there, oh my gosh, I don't even have time for this. Make time. Make time. Funny thing, right? You want to be successful, but you don't want to do the work sometimes, especially when it comes to the inner work. You know, so many people don't understand the power of mindset, right? We focus on all the external things, let alone we don't focus on the thing that controls 95% of our lives. Put you first. Put you first, okay? So once again, process visualization is you bridging the gap from where you are to where you desire to be. You're bridging that gap. Okay, so finally, before we wrap it up, I want to quickly end our session by talking about this thing which I learned in one of what was the book? Think and Grow Rich. So Think and Grow Rich. Okay, Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite books, all-time favorite books. But it was also, I learned it in Outwitting the Devil. Okay, both two great books. If you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, where have you been? That is the 101 book when it comes to entrepreneurship. It was the first book that was given to me by one of my mentors. Second book is, please check it out. Have a read. And it's Outwitting the Devil. And it talks about this thing called hypnotic rhythm. I think I've done a coaching call on it. I may do a coaching call in the future, which is extremely powerful once again. But I want to talk about the power of a definiteness of purpose. A definiteness of purpose is also a thing that activates outer intention. Our expectancy, our determination to achieve the thing that we desire, this forms a pattern. This forms a working model which the subconscious mind will work on to produce that in your reality. Understand that. Because here is the thing, a person who has great expectancy, a person who has determination and a definiteness of purpose to reach their goal, no matter what, by his resolution, no fear, no doubt, nothing is going to prevent that person from achieving their goals. That's powerful when you think about it that way. When you have a definiteness of purpose, I'm going to make this happen. I don't care how long it's going to take me, but I know for a fact, I'm going to make this happen. Too many people give up. Give up on the dreams. Live a mediocre life. You know why? It gets too hard. It's too hard because your why wasn't big enough. You did not have a definiteness of purpose. We must become very aware of the thoughts that brings us discord. We must become very aware of the thoughts that bring thoughts of hatred, thoughts of jealousy, thoughts of envy, thoughts or feelings that are unkind towards other people, thoughts of revenge. These all stop your progress when it comes to manifestation. Anything which brings and produces discord is going to cripple your efforts to manifestation. That's the truth. These thoughts also lower your vibrational frequency. When you lower your vibrational frequency, it stops your progress. Forgive. Let go. Move on. Okay? I just had a pull to say that. I don't know why I said that, but there is, you know who's listening right now. Forgive. Forgive. Okay? We must have harmony. We must have peace of mind. We must have freedom of thoughts in order to gain better momentum when it comes to manifesting our desires. Thoughts of courage, thoughts of joy, thoughts of abundance, thoughts of confidence, thoughts of determination. These are the mental forces. These are the mental forces which bring about massive life-changing results, massive success in life. You must learn to clear your mind. Clear your mind of the fear. Clear your mind of the anxiety, because you know what? That's just the old self trying to survive. And all of those things hinder your progress when it comes to manifesting your greatest desires. But here's the power. The moment you decide, you know what, coach? I'm going to double down on this. The moment you take full control of your thoughts, but you also have that expectancy, you have a definiteness of purpose and absolute faith in the unseen reality, and you know that you are the deliberate creator of your reality, no one else, you. The key is in your hands. The powerful thing of that, final, is that right there activates outer intention. And when you activate outer intention, the things that you want in life, flows to you easily and effortlessly.